Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here. We meet again. This is on June 24th, 2017, St. John the Baptist Day, or St. John's Day, sometimes called Midsummer's Day in the Old English canon of how things were named. I think I said something about that last night. Today I watched the video. This video is inspired by That's Brad, who was doing a walkabout in a old abandoned insane asylum that was truly getting quite crumbly in terms of its interior and quite unsafe. Although you wouldn't think it was unsafe to judge by the number of graffitos and graffiti all over the building. I mean, clearly, these two guys that went in there in this video, they weren't the first ones to go into this joint by any means. But that got me thinking about the time at Ohio State University when University Hall, the oldest building on campus, built in 1873, 1874, was deemed unsafe in 1968, and they tore it down in April of 1971 when I was a student there. This is a 1970s picture, a pre being torn down. You can tell by the stain on the roof, and a few other exterior details. They tore it down and they built a replica. From the outside, it's hard to tell that, they're different buildings. But on the inside, it's all, looks like a gigantic men's room. That's what it looks like inside. Go on the motorway, the interstate highway. That's what it looks like inside. It has all the charm of a public toilet. Whereas the old building had, wooden floors, things creaked, you had a sense that the building was living. They had a staircase up to the tower, you could go up into the tower, and there was a window, there's a window up there. You can't really see it, but there's a window up there. And you could go up there, oh good, my mouse moved and now it's going to pretend to reload. Strange mouse, there's nothing over there moving it. Goblins are in my kitchen. But anyway, the history department and philosophy department were there in that building when I was a student. It had a north wing which was not original. I mean, it was built later. It was original, but it was built later. And in that north wing, they had nothing's gigantic at Ohio State, really. Well, except the stadium. But it had a fairly sizable auditorium on what would be the main floor, the downstairs floor, and they had a stage, and that was where they used to do non-June graduations. And my dad graduated there in 1932, December of 1932. No. Yeah, December of 1932. From, he got his Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. So I mean, I always had a very fond place in my heart for this. Plus, being a history major, my history instructors all had their offices in the building, and you'd go up the back fire escape. There was a fire escape back around the back side there, one of these old metal things that went up, in a spiral, and you'd go up that fire escape and you'd go to their offices. If you didn't want to go through the front door, I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of fun to go up the fire escape. Yeah, so they're going to tear it down, So the fall of Had been fall 1970. When they had shut the building. They had shut the building by then. They shut it after summer quarter of 1970. And I had gone summer quarter of 1970 and worked and took classes that quarter. But you could still get in the building, you know. It wasn't like it was fenced off or barred off or walled off or bricked up or anything. And so I'd go in and photograph the interior and looking out the windows. And that was an exceptionally beautiful fall that year. And now I've got to digitize all my slides. I've made a very small start of it, but that's my winter project. I want to digitize around 3,000 slides, that I've got, from when I first started taking photographs independently around 1966, 67, up till now, up to the end of the film era, let's put it that way, and for all intents and purposes. But anyway, I have a photograph that's very similar to this, and I also have a photograph looking out one of the windows here. That's during the fall. And I had a picture that I took from over here when the dogwoods were in blossom and bloom, and it sort of framed the whole thing. And I blew that up into like a 17 by 24 photograph, and had it framed nicely. And I gave it to my favorite history instructor. Well, one of the two favorite history instructors I had at Ohio State at the time. After he moved down to become an assistant professor down at Northern Kentucky State University in Kentucky, just across the river from Cincinnati. And well, I've still got the slide. I mean, I really ought to do that for myself here sometime. But seeing Brad roaming around this abandoned insane asylum, set me to thinking about that story and why we, and I've always puzzled why we in the United States, feel compelled to tear down anything that's old and beautiful. Oh, it's old and beautiful, it needs some fixing up. Oh no, don't fix it up, tear it down. Build a cheap, tawdry, men's room, roadside area, rest stop type reproduction. Oh yeah, that's the way to handle that. By that standard, the church I go to would have been torn down decades ago, Good grief. No, it's, building's 170 years old, better tear it down. Well, this building was, when they tore it down, was just under 100 years old. Yeah, that was a sad day. That was a sad day. Still, these things happen over here. Alrighty. Bye-bye, YouTubers.